Okay, good morning or afternoon, wherever you may be sitting. Um, Give it just a little bit longer here and we'll get started. I'll be going through just a slide deck just talking about, discovering a partnership with HireLevel and how to incorporate that in your existing business. Feel free to use either our chat or Q&A, and I will be on the lookout for any questions that come along the way. All right, here. Okay. Um, Benjamin, I don't know if you had a question. I see a little hand up. Otherwise, feel free to use the chat and I will get to your question. All right. Well, I'm Amanda. I have been with HireLevel 14 years. And as time has changed with not only the services that we provide to our clients, but how we interact with them, what their expectations are, how they also look to deepen their connections with us. And additionally to referral partners who are like-minded in our world as well, talking to similar decision key makers, business owners, those heavy influencers in, day-to-day operations. So in today's HR departments, they're really inundated with day-to-day responsibilities from recruitment to offboarding, performance to policies, culture to compensation. The tasks seem, of course, endless in an HR world. So for our world inside of HireLevel, the types of things that we do see, the questions that we're hearing from our clients do revolve around these particular topics. Many moons ago, it was thought of just, being data entry clerks when it came to payroll. These days, it is more than that. Clients are looking for partnerships. They're looking for consultation. They're looking for advice. And while I see that in my industry, I know that that continues to be a constant within your industries as well, in the types of positions that you have. So for strategic guidance on these important tasks, many business leaders look for, again, those recommendations from specialized advisors who they know, trust, and already work with. And that definitely is our crowd today as well. So hidden costs do play a part in our everyday life. I'm sure you also feel the same way. Um, Time is everything. Time is something that you can't get more of. So how do you make the most of your time? How do you make the most of your partnership with your clients? From manual payrolls, clients calling in hours, asking you to write checks, new hire paperwork, managing employees' information really takes a lot of time. And hopefully you're billing for that. However, there are ways to help improve this manual process. Spreadsheets, yes, we see a lot of those as well. They also can cause errors, meaning you have, wrong calculations or formulas, pivot tables set up. that can cause mistakes. And again, that can be very costly in HR and payroll worlds. Um, the other big challenge when it comes to, continuing to scale your business is just talent. It's expensive to have employees, right? So that's our greatest expense, no matter who you talk to. Growing teams without the proper experience or just not even having the right tools in your organization can cause, right, again, additional time, additional bottlenecks um, throughout the course of the year versus your influx of tax deadlines. If you're familiar with payroll and doing payroll for clients, you're accustomed to every quarter, right? We have quarterly returns to file. If you are making tax payments on the behalf of your clients, you're doing that every week, maybe every day, depending on how many clients that you do handle. So these types of things can, of course, overload a team, overload an accounting firm if you do not have proper procedures, um, good software in place, things like that. In many different ways, when I see trends, not only in our industry, but other industries, again, data and privacy security, right? Very, very adamant of, using a really good system these days because fraud is real. There are many potential, you know, bad actors who are looking to make a quick buck. They are, scanning emails, compromising those emails, taking over those emails, posing as that end user, the recipient of the email, right? There's a lot of liability in the world of what we do with the amount of sensitive data that we do have. So again, how much of that of your time is even being spent or kept up on with maintaining good data and having good privacy security as well. Um, when I say software, there are many different types of softwares that you could be using or that we use ourselves in our world, or what types of systems that your clients are using. I spoke to a client just a couple weeks ago. They are in the HVAC industry. They use a specific software to manage their clients' job orders, really just help manage their day-to-day operations. However, in speaking with them, I learned of some other manual processes that they're doing. While they prefer to continue to use their existing software, which they absolutely should, we spoke about what is important for streamlining their employee experience. So while they have a great software to help run their everyday operations and their business and their industry, it's not a one-stop shop. It does not accommodate everything that they are looking for when it comes running your people every single day. So if you're running across these same scenarios as you talk to clients, most of which you're, using a mutual um, log into, let's say QuickBooks or Sage Zero, things of those types of platforms where, yes, you are managing, let's say, maybe your books for your clients and such, but is it really robust enough to help your clients manage their everyday operations? Such as, let's help reduce the amount of time that it takes to input a new person into the system, get them to fill out their new hire paperwork, fill out a W-4, complete a direct deposit authorization. Finding a way to reduce the time that's spent on that, such as automated onboarding. We have several clients who use a tool like this that helps streamline that collection of paperwork for a new hire. Now, onboarding is more than just a tool for collecting new hire paperwork. One other piece to an onboarding feature is if you have ongoing an update to a handbook policy, or you're adding a new piece to a specific policy. You've got to get employees' consent that they have read it, reviewed it, they signed off on it. You can also use an automated tool to incorporate that collection of they have acknowledged that they have reviewed and acknowledged the new policy. So automated onboarding is a really great tool. Outside of onboarding, once you've now collected that paperwork electronically, it can live within a system. So our HRIS, Human Resource Information System that we do use, does then house the data from collecting from new hires or existing employees. Automating payroll, such as using a solution that has built-in modules from, again, new hire paperwork collection, such as through automated onboarding, through time collection as well. Using one platform also helps reduce time spent with dual entry. Right? If you're using a separate system for time collection, but payroll's processed in another system. That's another great way to think about how can I, streamline a certain process by reducing the amount of places that I'm inputting the same information. Centralized employee management. This again, using one system to track performance, leave management, which would be such as PTO tracking, for allowing an employee to request time off, no more pieces of paper, and as an employee is filling out, leaving it on your desk to request time off. Again, using one singular system for employee management also will help reduce the amount of time that you're inputting it into another database. Training. Many businesses, right, require certain skill sets of employees, whether it be through certifications or licenses. If you're in, states where they have mandated training, such as sexual harassment training, using a platform, again, that does streamline that experience for not tracking this on another spreadsheet. So using a full HRIS platform to help reduce that time will go a long way. Looking for a system that also allows for integrations. Not every system is going to have every single thing that you may need. However, finding a platform that is, open to integrations. So such as, things to your accounting software. We do have a QuickBooks Online integration. So if you are using the online version and, again, finding ways to reduce your time, then inputting those journal entries into your client's QuickBooks, it can be automated as well. Now, if you're not using QuickBooks Online, that's okay. We can also create a journal entry export of those payroll entries, and then in turn, you can import into your desktop version of QuickBooks, allowing again for seamless data to be uploaded into your accounting software. I think ultimately, we get into business and starting a business, it's hard to just say no, right? You want to say yes to all those opportunities because if you don't say yes, you may not be growing. So it's important to not only recognize, yes, I want to continue to grow my book of business with my accounting services, bookkeeping, financial reporting, all those things that you may be doing. However, do you again need to diversify with the people that you have on your team, right? Or do you still want to continue to focus to have your book of business is on advisory, not day-to-day entry? So big thing. Obviously, those are not things that I can, plan for you, but things to be thinking about as you continue to grow your business. So while I've talked about some administrative burdens, I think the other big component, and I actually talked about this pretty heavily yesterday also in a presentation, but compliance. There's so much more compliance today than it never changes. In the employment law world with, wage laws, they're always changing as well. And it seems like the moment that, you've made the updates to, let's say, a handbook, well, then your state could be turning around and, making more changes. So causing it to be very difficult to keep things in compliance. So is that a role that you're looking to fill? Because again, offering payroll or offering a platform where clients can use, clients, again, see you as a trusted advisor. And when I say trusted advisor, they expect you to know everything, it seems like. So protecting your firm and your clients is obviously key because again, your clients are trusting you. So some of those top challenges that even I see, but I already mentioned one of them, but data and privacy security, meeting your clients' evolving expectations, managing that risk, keeping up with increasing competition, and I mentioned this as well, but growing your book of business. So using a platform that is constantly looking at real-time regulatory changes with using built-in alerts to ensuring that the system is ready to go for the latest wage or law change. For example, I had a client reach out to me last week. They're in multiple states, and one state that they do business in is Minnesota. Starting in January, Minnesota will also have a paid leave requirements. So of course, my client's reaching out asking, oh my gosh, what do I do? I was able to, again, reiterate that the system that we do use is already prepared for that type of change that will happen in January. And what do I mean by that? Well, this particular type of paid leave will require a percentage uh, that will need to be paid as well whenever we file unemployment. So again, making sure that the system that you are using is going to be prepared and ready for those upcoming changes. States are constantly getting on the bandwagon of different paid sick leave. Illinois, they came on board in January 2024 with a paid leave act. Missouri tried to do that earlier this year, but it was appealed. But there are many other states that already have sick leave in place. So that continues to grow. Some recent states also that have enacted these types of plans, Colorado, I know was a recent one as well. But are you ready for those types of compliance requirements that you will have to be filing for? So audit ready reporting is also something that we often see or clients request from us because, again, they may have additional reporting that they are doing on their end, whether it be, EEOC, or they've got a workers' compensation audit that they need to complete. Again, having a robust system where these types of things are automatically tracked in the platform will help create, that ease for your clients that they are compliant, that they can get the data that they need when they need it. Risk mitigation. So automated checks to prevent penalties, keeping both your operations and client engagements compliant. So with using an automated system, there are many alerts built within the platform. Um, not talked about this yet at all. However, one, again, growing trend that we continue to see is the use of artificial intelligence. Many platforms and different systems out there, are growing with that built-in feature. We are heavy users of Microsoft Office 365. They really have been pushing their AI technology that they call Copilot. While we're not using it at that time, it is an example of that it's in your face every single day. How easy it is to, ask Chat GPT for something. But again, many other tools that I use, they all seem to have some version of artificial intelligence. So with risk mitigation, one component that our system has recently implemented, actually two different things I'll mention. The first thing is something that they refer to as perfect payroll. Perfect payroll is designed to help a client mitigate maybe miskeying of hours, a change in a deduction amount, things where it's looking at previous historical payrolls within the system and projecting that this looks different. Oh, you made a change to this. Is that correct? So perfect payroll is designed to help then be able to have correct payroll every single time. The other thing that we've seen better enhancements with is multi-factor authentication. So making sure that a product is, yes, very secure, and everything that you should be using and doing every single day should have that multi-factor authentication. Our system has gone as far as if you make a change to someone's direct deposit information, you have to input a code. You have to get a verification code. So again, taking it a step further to help mitigate that type of risk when there is a lot of fraud in today's market. So again, continuing just to navigate different compliance, ongoing regulatory updates. If you've been living underneath a rock, sorry to hear that for you, but one big beautiful bill is something that is impacting employees' wages, from your no tax on tips to no tax on overtime, right? These sort of changes is very daunting to try to manage from a manual perspective. So how will you help your clients if you, in fact, are helping them with payroll? So definitely something that you have to keep in mind. Um, I think overall, finding a platform that has these features real time, like I mentioned, is very, very, very important. So with the upcoming changes, I know we got a little bit of time, of course, to ensure that returns are correct. However, these policies are going to be in place for the foreseeable future, or at least through 2028. So making sure that you are prepared to handle those updates in the system to be able to report on them appropriately, especially, on a W-2. So with that being said, that just only increases your clients', expectations that you can handle those sort of regulatory changes. I think, again, the biggest client concerns that we continue to see, recruiting and retaining employees. We see that here internally here at HireLevel. But how can a system help them with that? Well, again, from, helping them track their candidates, be able to bring them on board electronically, giving the employees a good experience with using, let's say, a mobile app to view their pay stubs, their pay history, download a W-2, to, being able to request time off, see what balances that they do have available, giving employees that better experience. That way they, are, just feeling that they don't have to inundate you when they have those types of questions. So how are your clients, using a system now to better give their employees a good experience? Interesting enough, I was sitting in an airport last night and was in between flights, was grabbing a bite to eat, and there was a couple sitting near me, and they were talking about increased healthcare costs and how that really has been impacting them. And they were, of an older generation and looking to retire. However, with the rising health costs, they were discussing how could they even consider retiring when they do need medical insurance. So it was interesting to hear from just an outside perspective, not having a normal dialogue like I typically would be having with a client about their business, but just again to hear it from just happened to overhear a couple talking about their own healthcare costs. So with that being said, clients also still have to be competitive to help retain their employees through competitive benefit packages. So we continue to hear that. Just had another conversation with a client just the other day about other things that they can do to help incentivize to retain their current employees, but also find new talent. But with that comes then managing benefits enrollment. So there are many different ways that benefits are managed with using, an insurance broker, a broker's platform for employee open enrollment management. There's a lot of products out there in today's world. But if you're using a full HRIS platform, again, this is a built-in feature that is available to help, manage an employee's benefits. And then again, just maintaining compliance, I think also continues to be a growing concern, or again, high alert with the ongoing changes, not only federal level, but state level. So again, do you have the system and tools in place to help your clients with the changing employment laws that we continue to see every day? So, how have I helped other accountants, bookkeepers in their roles? A lot of different ways, through, shared agreements with how we manage their clients, to providing back office support. And that can look a lot of different ways. For example, you know, I do work with an accounting firm that I have zero interaction with our clients. Our accountant contact uses our system to process payroll, but they don't have to worry about the heavy lifting of ensuring direct deposits are sent timely for employees to get paid. They're not sending tax payments and they're not filing returns, payroll tax returns. So that's one way I've helped an accounting firm. Another way is really just kind of that shared camaraderie of helping a mutual customer where we may speak openly to the accountant, but then of course we work day to day with our client. But we make sure that the accountant has access to the client's reports to be able to, produce your own financial returns. Often, they're needing copies of 941 returns. They may ask for a year-to-date return to help prepare, estimated taxes for their client, and then advise us on how gross to net may need to be calculated and such. So we've gone that far. To as clients or as an accountant, they may have several mutual clients. Again, just may have access to the system so that they can review reports when they need them. Sometimes, again, we'll have accountants reach out where, the client is not our main point of contact, so we may actively work more with an accountant than a client contact. So whatever is most proven helpful for you, obviously we're always open to those conversations. Okay, I've referred back a few times of, a full HRIS platform. Well, what does that mean? And there are different types of levels of an HRIS platform. But here you're going to see really a flow of an employee's life cycle. So the tools that we have in our toolbox is helping our clients employ talent through attracting them by using a full applicant tracking system. This helps them recruit top talent. It helps create job descriptions. Those job descriptions can be posted on job boards. This applicant tracking system then becomes, the house of all those candidates that are being presented or coming to a company looking for employment. It can help you also administer background checks and pre-hire assessments. I mentioned this already, but onboarding an employee, collecting new hire paperwork, having them fill out, an 8850 for work opportunity tax credit, other business tax credits that may be applicable that you could be helping them with, again, can be deployed through the platform that we do use. The main core of the system is helping our clients manage their day-to-day needs for HR, payroll, and workforce management. So administering payroll, offering a way for employees to use a self-service to view their pay stubs, download W-2s, request time off. We do handle our clients' garnishments as well. We can offer pay cards if they've got employees who refuse to have direct deposit. HR, clients may have other managers or supervisors that want to use the system. Are they tracking salary and job history? What about certifications or licenses? Again, this can be tracked within the same system. And document management, which I know I had mentioned earlier too. Benefits, having one place where employees now can enroll in what benefits. They can see what their cost analysis is. If again, you've got a client with 50 full-time or equivalent employees, tracking ACA. The system also can help better manage your FMLA as well. Timekeeping. So again, time collection. You've got hourly employees. How are you collecting their time? Do you have employees working in different locations or different departments? What about jobs, projects? Really customizing that labor management for them. Scheduling has also been a recent conversation with some customers where they're using a separate tool to build a schedule and share that out to their employees. But again, looking to streamline where they're using one system for something like that. Expense management. This is a great tool if you've got staff that are constantly turning in reimbursements, whether they may travel and have those types of business expenses. How are they turning that in to be reimbursed? And last but not least, empowering your employees through different engagement tools, setting up goals, peer feedback, creating surveys, to providing a platform for training through different types of your own material that needs to be trained on versus having access to really a library of different types of topics that you can use for training as well. All right. So for questions, feel free to reach out to me. As again, we're here to help continue to grow your business. So whether it be, a different type of partnership than maybe of the few things that I've mentioned today, I am always open for that type of conversation. If anyone has any questions, feel free to let me know. I'm going to see here if I've got anything specific. Christian, will attendees get a gift card for attending? We do have I think it's the first 10 that signed up and attended, yes, would be getting a gift card for joining today. All right. Well, that's all for today. I don't see any specific questions that have come through. Nope, I was just waiting for it to load. I don't see anything. So if there aren't any other things that everyone has today, feel free to reach out to me, and everyone have a great rest of your day. Bye.